Hello dear friend, and welcome to On This Day SMR with me, Edward Hertz, where we take a look back through history at events which took place on this day. The rain is gently pittering and pattering away on the window, and the fire is crackling away nicely in the hearth. So put your headphones on, sit back, relax, and let me take you on a journey back through time. Today is Friday the 19th of January 2024, and we have 53 events to cover, going all the way back to the year 379. Starting with the most recent event, which happened 10 years ago in 2014. A bomb attack on an army convoy in the city of Banu kills at least 26 Pakistani soldiers and injures 38 others. 12 years ago in 2012, the Hong Kong-based file-sharing website Mega Upload is shut down by the FBI. 17 years ago in 2007, Turkish-Armenian journalist Hrant Dink is assassinated in front of his newspaper's Istanbul office by 17-year-old Turkish ultranationalist Orgun Samast. In the same year, four-man team N2I, using only skis and kites, completes a 1,093-mile, 1,759-kilometre trek to reach the Antarctic pole of inaccessibility for the first time since 1965, and for the first time ever without mechanical assistance. "25 years ago in 1999, British Aerospace agrees to acquire the defence subsidiary of the General Electric Company, forming BAE Systems in November 1999. 27 years ago in 1997, Yasser Arafat returns to Hebron after more than 30 years and joins celebrations over the handover of the last Israeli-controlled West Bank city. 28 years ago in 1996, the barge North Cape oil spill occurs as an engine fire forces the tugboat Scandia ashore on Moonstone Beach in South Kingston, Rhode Island. 29 years ago in 1995, after being struck by lightning, the crew of Bristow Helicopters Flight 56C are forced to ditch. All 18 aboard are later rescued. 31 years ago in 1993, the Czech Republic and Slovakia join the United Nations. 33 years ago in 1991, in the Gulf War, Iraq fires a second Scud missile into Israel, causing 15 injuries. 34 years ago in 1990, exodus of Kashmiri Pandits from the Kashmir Valley in Indian-administered Kashmir due to an insurgency. 36 years ago in 1988, Trans-Colorado Airlines Flight 2286 crashes in Bayfield, Colorado, killing 19. 38 years ago in 1986, the first IBM PC computer virus is released into the wild, a boot sector virus dubbed Seabrain. It was created by the Farooq Alvi brothers in Lahore, Pakistan, reportedly to deter unauthorized copying of the software they had written. 41 years ago in 1983, Nazi war criminal Klaus Barbie is arrested in Bolivia. In the same year, the Apple Lisa, the first commercial personal computer from Apple to have a graphical user interface and a computer mouse, is announced. 43 years ago in 1981, in the Iran hostage crisis, United States and Iranian officials sign an agreement to release 52 American hostages after 14 months of captivity. 46 years ago in 1978, the last Volkswagen Beetle made in Germany leaves VW's plant in Emden. Beetle production in Latin America continues until 2003. 47 years ago in 1977, President Gerald Ford pardons Eva Taguri d'Aquino, aka Tokyo Rose. 55 years ago in 1969, student Jan Palach dies after setting himself on fire 3 days earlier in Prague's Wenceslas Square to protest about the invasion of Czechoslovakia by the Soviet Union in 1968. His funeral turns into another major protest. 64 years ago in 1960, Japan and the United States signed the US-Japan Mutual Security Treaty. In the same year, Scandinavian Airlines Systems Flight 871 crashes near Ankara Esenboga Airport in Turkey, killing all 42 aboard. 71 years ago in 1953, almost 72% of all television sets in the United States are turned into I Love Lucy to watch Lucy give birth. "78 years ago in 1946, General Douglas MacArthur establishes the International Military Tribunal for the Far East in Tokyo to try Japanese war criminals. 79 years ago in 1945, in World War II, Soviet forces liberate the Lodz ghetto of more than 200,000 inhabitants. In 1940, fewer than 900 had survived the Nazi occupation. 82 years ago in 1942, also in World War II, the Japanese conquest of Burma begins. 83 years ago in 1941, again in World War II, HMS Greyhound and of escorts of convoy AS-12 sink Italian submarine Neghelli with all hands 64 kilometres, 40 miles, northeast of Falconers. 87 years ago in 1937, Howard Hughes sets a new air record by flying from Los Angeles to New York in 7 hours, 28 minutes, 25 seconds. "104 years ago in 1920, the United States Senate votes against joining the League of Nations. In the same year, the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, is founded. 107 years ago in 1917, in the Silvertown explosion, a blast at a munitions factory in London kills 73 and injures over 400. The resulting fire causes over £2 million worth of damage. 109 years ago in 1915, George Cloud patents the neon discharge tube for use in advertising. In the same year, German strategic bombing during World War I. German Zeppelins bombed the towns of Great Yarmouth and King's Lynn in the United Kingdom, killing at least 20 people in the first major aerial bombardment of a civilian target. 123 years ago in 1901, Queen Victoria, Queen of the United Kingdom, stricken with paralysis. She dies 3 days later at the age of 81. 125 years ago in 1899, Anglo-Egyptian Sudan is formed. 141 years ago in 1883, The first electric lighting system employing overhead wires, built by Thomas Edison, begins service at Roselle, New Jersey. "153 years ago, in 1871, in the Franco-Prussian War, in the siege of Paris, Prussia wins the Battle of St. Quentin. Meanwhile, the French attempt to break the siege in the Battle of Buzenval will end unsuccessfully the following day." 162 years ago, in 1862, in the American Civil War and the Battle of Mill Springs, the Confederacy suffers its first significant defeat in the conflict. 163 years ago, in 1861, also in the American Civil War, Georgia joins South Carolina, Florida, Mississippi, and Alabama in declaring secession from the United States. 171 years ago, in 1853, Giuseppe Verdi's opera Il Trovatore receives its premiere performance in Rome. 185 years ago, in 1839, the British East India Company captures Aden. 195 years ago, in 1829, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's Faust, the first part of the tragedy, receives its premiere performance. 207 years ago, in 1817, an army of 5,423 soldiers, led by General José de San Martin, crosses the Andes from Argentina to liberate Chile and then Peru. 229 years ago, in 1795, the Batavian Republic is proclaimed in the Netherlands, replacing the Dutch Republic. 236 years ago, in 1788, the second group of ships of the First Fleet arrive at Botany Bay. 260 years ago, in 1764, John Wilkes is expelled from the British House of Commons for seditious libel. In the same year, Bol Willem Luxdorf records in his diary that a mail bomb, possibly the world's first, has severely injured the Danish Colonel Poulsen, residing at Borglum Abbey. 385 years ago, in 1639, Harminlinna, Swedish Tavesteus, is granted privileges after it separated from the Vanaja parish as its own city in Tavastia. 417 years ago, in 1607, San Agustin Church in Manila is officially completed. It is the oldest church still standing in the Philippines. 504 years ago, in 1520, Sten Sture the Younger, the regent of Sweden, is mortally wounded at the Battle of Bogesund and dies on February the 3rd. 513 years ago, in 1511, the Italian Duchy of Mirandola surrenders to the Pope. 605 years ago, in 1419, in the 100 Years' War, Rouen surrenders to Henry V of England, completing his reconquest of Normandy. 1,375 years ago, in 649, in the conquest of Kutcha, the forces of Kutcha surrender after a 40-day siege led by Tang dynasty general Ashina Sher, establishing Tang control over the northern Tarim Basin in Xinjiang. 1,645 years ago, in the year 379, Emperor Gratian elevates Flavius Theodosius at Simium to Augustus
and gives him authority over all the eastern provinces of the Roman Empire.
So that is all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you found our little trip back through history both relaxing and informative. If you did indeed like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and also consider leaving a comment below. All feedback is very much welcome. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. It will really help the channel grow and will ensure that you are notified of future videos. Be sure to turn on notifications so that you are notified of future videos as soon as they are posted. Thank you again, and I hope to see you next time.